Welcome to our interview series on mental coaching, where we are exploring how this transformative service can benefit a wide range of people, from professionals and athletes to parents and individuals seeking personal growth. I'm Kristina Duffkova, and today we have a special guest, Jana Žďárek Hromadová, who shares a similar journey in mental coaching as mine. We both studied at the Neuroleadership Institute, specializing in brain-based coaching. However, her path took a unique turn as she transitioned from working with corporate clients to embracing motherhood. We are excited to delve into her experiences and insights on how mental coaching can be applied in various aspects of her life. So, hi Anna, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background in mental coaching?
Sure. First of all, hi, Kristina. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. And let me maybe start with my credentials. As you mentioned, we both studied at Neuroleadership Institute in Prague. I also hold the Associate Coach certification from the International Coaching Federation. I have a master's in economics and an MBA in HR. And I also worked for the last 12 years in various departments within mainly multinational companies. But as my real passion lies with helping people grow, I have focused during the last years, especially on the people development areas within the HR, together with coaching, which I find extremely helpful for clients who look for support to grow their careers. But let me add one more thing, and I think it's the most important one. I am also a mom. And to be honest, it was quite a challenging journey for me, especially at the beginning, because I completely gave everything I had to my son, putting my own needs to the last place, to such an extent that I almost reached a burnout state. And so from that point on, I worked hard to reestablish my own balance, and also being all the rest of my identity beyond being just a mom. So this journey has been really a transformative one, and I love to leverage this to help my own clients go towards their purpose, more joy and balance in their lives.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this journey with us, Jana. Now, moving from your background to the workplace, mental coaching has increasingly been recognized as a valuable tool. Could you elaborate on how it can be applied in the workplace to improve employee performance and well-being?
Sure. Let me also say that I am the biggest advocate of coaching, mental coaching at the workplace. I really think it can help so much for so many different aspects in the context of our employers. But very specifically, it can improve significantly employee engagement, employee motivation, performance, as you mentioned, in very different aspects such as concentration, time management, delegation. We often work on delegation, leadership skills, of course. Workload management, that's another topic that we work often on, and it is actually a prevention of burnout as well. Communication, and as we know, individual performance and individual well-being affect strongly also the team dynamics. So I would like to encourage employers to consider also that aspect, that individual coaching can significantly also improve the communication and results and general atmosphere, motivation, engagement within the whole team. So it doesn't necessarily end with the employee only, but it has really great effects on the whole team as well.
What I'm hearing is that cooperation, prevention, also right communication can solve really many problems in advance and not to be escalated. So that's like the main point. What should be really important for the company to really work together and not just like be there in person, but not feel the team spirit.
Completely agree. Yes.
So transitioning from professional settings to a more personal space, how can mental coaching techniques be used at home to manage stress and enhance personal well-being?
Sure. So from my perspective, the process is the very same. It's always helping clients progress towards their goals, but the context, of course, is different, and probably most importantly, the team is different. So you have to be teaming with different people in a different way when focusing on the home environment, home context. And so the communication obviously changes as well. But based on my experience, the topics that we work on the most within the personal context are related to stress management. So we are working on creating habits to be sustainably healthy in long term, mentally healthy, and also physically healthy. So health is another area on which we work often, and it doesn't need to be only weight loss, which is a favorite topic. It can also relate to any other, let's say, long-term, maybe autoimmune diseases that we can also work on with creation of healthy habits. Another area we work often on is related to improving relationships, be it emotional regulation, how to communicate when you are in conflict, for example, how to improve relationships in general that matter to you, but where you feel that you have been struggling. And another area we work often on is related to simply fulfillment of personal dreams. It can be launching your own entrepreneurship idea, any kind of project, support of the community, simply anything that you have been dreaming of that is more difficult to do by yourself and where you appreciate to have a guide. So these are the most common contexts that we work on within the family environment or personal life environment. Let's call it like that.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is that everything is connected, that we are not focusing only on mental health or only on physical health, but it's or on the career, on the like relationship in the family. But it's everything is connected, and when we are thriving in one area, it helps that when we are thriving also in another area, because it can contribute to the better result. Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is also what I mention to my clients often within the corporate context, that if they had a fight with their spouse in the morning, the fact that they reach their workplace doesn't mean that they cut off the emotions that they are still experiencing,
Yes.
right? So exactly as you say, we are just one person, and everything is connected. So we need to look at it from this bigger picture perspective. Yes.
So speaking of home, family dynamics can sometimes be challenging. So what strategies from mental coaching can be particularly useful for families to improve communication and relationships?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking and digging into this area. From my perspective, the most important thing is to create an environment of autonomy, fairness, and respect. And that can be achieved by agreements. And when I say agreements, it means that everybody at home should be participating in creating the rules around certain areas on which everybody agrees, right? And so there are a few areas where I have experienced it is very useful. It can contribute a lot to the improvement of the overall well-being of the family. And this is exactly effective communication. We talk about not criticizing, asking rather open-ended questions, not assuming what will be the answer of the other one, trying to focus on positive feedback. We call it positive reinforcement. By that, our brains learn to create the new paths in the brain which we want to foster. So the more we positively reinforce the habits that we want to create or the behaviors, the more automatic it becomes, actually. And also another area related to communication is how we deal with intense emotions, something that everybody's experiencing, especially with kids, but also in different contexts. And so I would also recommend families to create agreements about how the family should ideally behave when in high emotions. For example, when I feel that I'm really very angry, to be polite, I will just go to my private space, close the door for a few minutes, breathe, or whatever works for me. But I will not deal with the situation in high emotional arousal. Let's call it like that. So once you create an agreement with the family around how in these situations we will behave, it is much easier to then go through those tough moments. And also, what is important, you don't have assumptions. You are aligned about what should happen. So expectations are clear, basically. And finally, what I would also recommend here for families to agree on is both common time, so rituals about how family as the team spends time together, very important, but also how individuals within the team spend time on their own. So creating boundaries, each of the family team, I like to look at it as a team, at the family unit, is also very important. Again, to set clear expectations. Everybody needs their own time, as well as it is important for the team to be together, but agreements around how it will happen in each particular context of each particular family can be very helpful.
Yeah, you mentioned several very important things. Yeah, creating boundaries, what is acceptable for me, and really say it loudly that these are my needs. I need this to happen, or I need this time for me. That's really important to be aware of your own needs. Then you mentioned also, you mentioned a high arousal state, or this big emotion.
Emotional, yes, arousal, yes.
Yes. And I saw somewhere there was this sentence, big emotion, time for motion. So like
Yes.
transform the energy of, for example, anger, of frustration, of sadness to something, like to move yourself, go for a run or dance it out, something, move it through your body and change the dynamic, calm yourself down, and then try from this another state of body and also
Absolutely.
mind, try to solve the situation in a different way.
Exactly. Yeah. And exactly as you said, I would like to reinforce that dancing, especially when you have a small baby, you can't always go out for a run, right? So it's a good recommendation just to dance and maybe shout at the same time with the kid. So both of you at the same time, you're just releasing that energy that is not useful. Yeah, it's a good tip. At least for me, it works, and for a couple of my clients, I have also seen that it was a good technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had a unique perspective shift since becoming a mother. So how has your approach to mental coaching changed since you went on maternity leave?
Thank you for the opportunity to share more on this. My experience has been something that people, moms or dads, should be more often talking about. My perspective about coaching has expanded. That's the right word. I feel I have expanded as a person and as a coach and as a professional. As you also mentioned at the beginning, previously I was more focusing on the corporate context, but now I'm just so convinced that coaching can be extremely useful to help parents, especially at the beginning of their parenthood journey, that I'm just convinced it is a tool that everybody should be aware of, that is at our disposal, and that everybody should consider when feeling somehow as going through tough times, because I don't know any single parent around me that would not be struggling at the beginning to find their own needs, their own identity, their own roles from before their kids were born versus how they dedicate their full life and full time energy to their kids. So it is a topic that relates to all of us. And somehow I feel, to be honest, that in the Czech context, women are used to dedicate their full being to their kids for maybe 3 years. It is considered normal. and nobody speaks about how tough it is, at least based on my experience. But it is very tough, especially for people who are living their life through a realization of their professional dreams or their entrepreneurship dreams or any other kind of dreams, but they were really dedicated to something very different to parenthood before becoming a parent. What often happens is that you just lose your identity and you decompose, and suddenly you are there, you are dedicating everything you have in your energy, time, space to your baby with love, but you are forgetting about your basic needs. And you can imagine what happens then. So I am really a big advocate of parents asking for help in early stages of parenthood, be it through psychology or a coach or any kind of different way how to support them. But really, only when we are fine, and parents know it, when moms know it, when we are prospering, when we are in balance, only then the family can be in balance. So it is the biggest gift that you can actually give to your family, to take care of your needs, to take care of what has changed in your life, how you can look for small spaces to put in place what you really need every day to be able to go through tough times. And actually, what I have realized myself is that I want to give to my son, I have a son, the example of living my life to my full potential, living in joy, living in full energy, living fulfilled and purposeful life, and being in my power. And so when I show him that I also manage somehow to dedicate to my needs and to honor myself, not only to put everything I have for him, I actually inspire him to live the life that I would want him to live. So it's not really only about your needs that you are trying to somehow balance, but also about the impact that you have on your kids, on your family. And so, sorry, I have taken quite a long time here, but I'm very passionate about this topic. I would really like to encourage everybody to consider this option, to ask for help, because it is tough. It is tough. And so just ask for help, look for options, and your life will be so much easier and joyful. Yeah.
Yeah, the journey of parenthood can be lonely many times for many women because we live in huge cities by ourselves and our families are far, far away. It has changed a lot in this topic, in this area.
Yes.
You know, for the last 100 years when the families were all together. As we grow older, we want to really fulfill our dreams. So there can be many challenges. And also, as you mentioned, being realistic, what I heard, and being authentic about your needs, about your wants, about your life, and also be your role model to a child. It's not realistic to be perfect. It's not realistic to just take your life away and give your life to someone else for a longer period of time. Being realistic, what is possible and what's not possible, where are your boundaries, and how do you want to live your life. Like, of course, the child
Exactly.
the child cannot take care of themselves. Yeah, that's we can understand that, but there can be some boundaries or some negotiation with other family members, or there can be some other ways how to deal with the situation.
Exactly. So many different options there are. So it's just about looking out of our usual, in our community, usual way of looking at motherhood, that you have to stay at home for 3 years with your kid and do nothing else than take care of your household. It doesn't need to be like that at all, but you need to dare to ask what else is possible, and to ask for help, ideally, because it is difficult to do it by yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So balancing professional work and motherhood brings its own set of challenges and rewards, as you said earlier. So what unique challenges and opportunities have you encountered while trying to balance mental coaching and motherhood?
So I think the biggest challenge, and I have already mentioned it, was related in my case to conflicted roles, because I was a very ambitious, and I still am a very ambitious professional, and then I became a very ambitious mom, and I wanted to continue exercising to take care of my health, and I just needed to struggle. I just struggled a lot at the beginning, really, to balance out my needs and how what was the priority between my needs now and my needs versus before I was a mom, and taking care of my kid, because it's not so easy, at least in my experience, that you just have a babysitter and go exercise because you want to be with the baby. That's the thing. That's the natural thing. You just want to be with him all the time, until the point when you feel that something has something is missing in your life, and slowly it's really like refuel, depleting energy from you, and then it depends on everybody how long each mom or dad can actually bear this state of energy depletion, and when he or she starts to do something about it. But it's complex because you want to be with your kid only all the time, so it's not so easy as to ask for a babysitter or a family member to take care. Yeah. And that's how the nature wanted us to be, right? Nature wanted us to be at home with our kids and take care of our families. And this is where my own conflict came from, because I thought I would be at home with my kid for maximum 1 year. And then I was so fulfilled back at work and when coaching that when the moment came, it was tough because I wasn't ready to go back. I just wanted to be with him more time. So I canceled all my plans except for coaching. And I had to reshuffle it, be flexible and adapt. And I learned so much through this journey. One more thing I wanted to comment is that actually during the early stages of motherhood, the neuroplasticity of our brains is the biggest in our adulthood life. So that's actually a great advantage, opportunity to work on any changes you want to incorporate in your life, to process all traumas that you have, to go through therapies or whatever support you find. But our brains are built for adapting to change in those moments. So this is actually what I have done. I have had so many therapies since I became a mom that I feel I am just so much more in my power now. Even though it was tough, it was not it was not easy. Yeah. So, but it was a challenge that I turned into opportunity. Yeah.
Early stages of becoming a mom, there is so much of new. Everything is new for a woman. Their body is in a different shape they were used to. Their relationship to their husband or partner has a different dynamic. You know, like there is someone new who should you take care of, not only of yourself and of your husband. So yes, there are so many new things and yeah. So
and you are a new person as well on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So the relationship towards you changes as well. So everything in your life is completely different, completely new. You really decompose yourself into many pieces and you start building them together. So having a guide, a coach, a support partner, it can be just so much easier to go through this journey, really.
Yeah. Yeah, even someone to talk to about those changes and like navigate, you know, like through all these challenges and find a new normal, let's say, for you. What's your new normal state in that or new balance. So yeah, that can be really rewarding in the situation. Yeah. And considering these experiences, what do you believe is the most significant added value of mental coaching for individuals in their personal and professional lives?
Coming a little bit apart from the specific context of parents, in general, I am convinced that mental coaching helps you be the director of your life. So when you know who you are, what are your unique gifts and unique needs, you can make conscious choices to live the life you want, not being drawn by external circumstances or by somebody else's decisions. You really own your life. So I like to look at it as an orchestra, and you are in the position of the director who is leading it.
That's nice picture. Yeah, you can really picture yourself as this, like how to make this song really be powerful. And life transitions can be profound, such as becoming a parent. So how can mental coaching help individuals navigate these major changes?
And it's great that you're mentioning transitions and transitioning to a new place. I believe that any kind of transition is tough because we naturally need stability and certainty and predictability in our lives. So in general, this is usually not part of transitioning to a new context. And in parenthood specifically, what I believe, how I believe that coaching can help the most, it is about setting priorities in the client's individual contexts. It's always tailor-made coaching. I haven't mentioned that. And everybody's going through different pains and different challenges. So a coach can help you really put on a table what you're going through, what is the most important, what are the most important things you need to have in your life right now in the new context, and how to reshuffle your life so that you ask for it, you adapt, you simply make it there so that you're ready to go through this painful phase. And when I talk about this, I like to call it also as a building of resilience anchors, by which I mean defining the list of things in your life, again, very tailor-made exercise, that you really need, very small things, but that you really need every single day in order to be able to get going. So, for example, I don't know, taking a shower for 20 minutes, whatever, exercising, breathing exercise, or just having a cup of coffee, or calling your brother, whatever it is. A coach can help you in transitioning to establish the list of these resilience anchors and to adapt your life so that you really have them. And last but not least, I would also like to add that especially when we are in distress, we are used to function based on the old ways that our brain has deeply rooted, based on how we used to function in the past, right? So we are not thinking about new opportunities, new possibilities of how to get out of those usual ways of working, especially in distress. And it is especially in distress when we actually need to look for new ways of living our lives, right? So a coach can help you to have this bigger picture perspective, to have a mirror, and to find new possibilities, to live a different life, a better life, to bring the possibilities that you don't see. So it is, I really think it is extremely helpful. And even when not in transitioning with a coach and with belief in yourself, you can make anything possible in the world that you can just imagine. I always say, what you can imagine, you can make happen. So coach can be very useful if you want to live your dreams, for example. And also, as you mentioned, just having somebody to talk to support you, to have a partner, another hat, another heart. It's also a nice feeling just to connect to somebody in tough times.
What I say, and at work, another pair of eyes, because sometimes I can look at the picture, at the text, at the Excel sheet, and I cannot really see what's missing or where's the mistake. Sure. So and that's the same in real life. We don't see ourselves with second pair of eyes, with second pair of ears. It's good that someone is there, someone is kind of like neutrally watching you and can really be aware of those signs, like change of your voice or change of your posture or change I don't know, that you are behaving, you are closing yourself, for example. So when people feel threatened or feel like really they feel stressed, they, as you mentioned, they don't see other options. Their vision is only one way and only feel like they are threatened. So, and changing or open the perspective for them, it's really good because they can change their mindset, they can change their chemistry in their brain actually, and calm down and see the options for their what is possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. For those curious about mental coaching, what advice would you give to someone seeking these services?
A common advice you have probably already heard many times: check a good credentials. There are many coaching courses you can make over a weekend, right? So this is kind of a quality check, let's call it like that. But most importantly, or maybe as importantly for me, it is the chemistry between your coach and yourself. So trust your intuition, and really choose somebody you feel the connection with, because it can make a big difference.
Yeah. I would say, as you mentioned, the credentials, the study, it's really important. And also, the chemistry, because how they are presenting themselves. If it's only like Instagram, this thing, or they know their knowledge and they really can help you effectively. Because also what I can see, the mental coaching is really timely, effective, and really in shorter period of time it can solve huge problems or topics there were in your mind for several weeks or months. So save your time. It's
worth.
It's the best what you can do, and use the time for something else.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So practicality is key in mental coaching. Not only time saving. So what are 3 practical mental coaching techniques that anyone can start using today to improve their mental well-being?
Maybe more than a technique, these are tools or questions, but I really love using them, so I'm glad that I can share them. The first one is useful in situations when people feel somehow stuck and can't decide what to do next. So it is the following question: just imagine that you are an older, mature version of yourself, maybe around 90 years old, and from this perspective you are looking back at the life that you are living right now. So what is the one thing that this older, mature version of you would recommend you to do? That's one. I really like to use it also myself. Then a very practical, quick one. When I fear something, I just ask myself, what is the worst thing that can happen? And often you realize it's not so bad, so you will take the risk. And finally, and this one is my most my top one, if I truly loved myself, what would I do differently?
Okay, these are really nice sentences. And to add to this, like you said, what is the worst can happen, and I sometimes ask myself, or additionally to this, what's the best what can happen? Because sometimes yeah, we really are afraid of something, like catastrophe can happen, and we don't see the side of the positive effect, what can be like the most positive thing that can happen. That's also like a nice
Absolutely.
perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
Yes, I agree.
And it's good that you also use those tips, because what we mental coaches do, that we also apply the knowledge to ourselves, and it's the
Of
best
course.
tool, and
Absolutely.
to live with the knowledge also and apply it to ourselves, because we are also human. We have also challenges. We have also problems. So we are not an exception.
Absolutely. Yeah, so our own experience can help a lot. Yeah. And it's actually something that I have seen that clients ask me a lot. What is my own experience? Which is something we as coaches should not normally talk about, right? It's not about advice or our own experience. It's about digging into our client's world. But very often I have seen that clients ask me for my own experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be helpful to share, but what I say to them usually is that what's like what's in my life, it doesn't mean that it can happen for you as well. So our journey is not the same, and even if we apply the same knowledge, it will be different, because our mind brain and their brain is different. We have different memories, we have different experiences. So for me, it can be the best way how to deal with the situation, but for them it may not be the best way how to deal with the situation. So it's better for them to try to think about their unique solution for their life. But it doesn't mean we'll be on the same journey with the same solution.
Yeah, exactly. Important to mention that.
Yeah. So it's not always easy to recognize when we need support, as you mentioned earlier. So how can someone identify if they would benefit from mental coaching?
Here, it's very simple for me, because I really trust in the power and potential of coaching. I would say that anybody who is feeling stuck, anyhow stuck in their lives, and they feel that by themselves they will not find a way out, coaching can help.
Okay. Yeah. So as a wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share about the impact and importance of mental coaching?
I have two things here. One I have already mentioned, and I will say it again. I would just encourage everybody to ask for help when in tough times. Life can be so much easier. It doesn't need to be that hard. And there is nothing bad about asking for help at all. Again, in our society, maybe we are used not to ask that much for help because somehow we show we are weak. And as I already mentioned, in the context of moms, at least around me, they would just suffer by themselves at home and not tell anybody. So again, really, it can be much easier. And the second thing I would like to mention is that coaching is quite an investment, right? It is an expensive service. We need to pay quite a high amount of money for that, but which actually discourages many people to go for it. But the change of perspective that I would like to encourage people to undergo is that if they think about the value that coaching brings to their life, so for example, better health, better relationships, new job, their dream fulfilled, if they look at it like this and ask, what is the value of these things, these new things in my life that I wouldn't have without coaching, then the question about was the price I paid fair or not is suddenly making much more relevant. if you really value the things that coaching brings to your life. So it's just a mind shift, because many people say, look, I can't afford this. It's about how much you want those things in your life, and what is the value that it can bring to you. Yeah.
So what I say to many people, that you can do it by yourself for 10 years, like studying books, videos, talking to people,
Yeah.
for 10
Yeah.
years to collect all those information. And if, as I mentioned it earlier, if you can save the time and have a dream house, the dream job, the dream, I don't know, relationship,
Family, relationships, yes.
in 6 months,
Yes.
then in this perspective, saving the time, and you can
Mhm.
live for 10 years in a good relationship. You can live for 10 years in a great house. You can work for 10 years being passionate, being happy in your new job, with another happy co-workers, and create something valuable for everyone. So also this perspective, you can
helps a lot. Yeah, I like it.
sooner,
Yeah.
if you want to.
Yeah, you're gonna be much happier either in 10 years, if
Of course
you make it there by yourself, or straight away, or well, let's say in 6 months. Yeah, that's a good point of view. But also important to mention, it's hard work, right? It's not that you hire a coach and you get the results. The clients have to work hard to get there.
Like it happens. Yeah. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a hard work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you pay, but you have to work also very hard. It's not the coach that will make those things happen
for
in
you.
your life.
Yeah, magically. Yeah, it's
for you.
not like that. Yeah,
Exactly.
As we studied, so we've done it to ourselves as well. We had to make this transition. We had to change the perspective in many ways, and I could feel it was challenging for me as well to accept some new things about me, for example, or accept that that I'm not perfect, that I'm not in a certain way. What was my, let's say, view of myself? So it sometimes it is challenging to create a new you for you. So and it takes time. So that's why we meet with our clients for 6 months, because it takes time to really change or make change,
transform
into someone new.
Yeah.
And finally, how can people get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about your services?
Thank you for this question. So I have a website, janažďárek.com, with contacts and everything else. So through that website, it's possible to reach out to me. But I also work with the local community and maternity center Paleček, RKC Paleček in Prague. So for clients based in Prague, this is another option to reach out to me. And actually, coaching series that are realized through this center are partially funded by the municipality. So for clients in socially disadvantaged conditions, for example, this can be a very nice help.
Such an amazing news.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jana, thank you very much for sharing your valuable insights and experiences with us today. It's been enlightening to hear how mental coaching can be such a versatile tool for both personal and professional growth. For our listeners interested in exploring mental coaching further, we'll make sure to include the contact details in the show notes. So stay tuned for more interviews in this series, where we continue to demystify mental coaching and showcase its benefits for everyone. See you soon.
Thank you for having me.